One of the things that I get asked a lot is about how do you stay productive? How do you stay motivated? And how do you stay on track and do things that need to get done when they need to get done, when things don't go your way, when the world seems to conspire and no matter what you put out there, it just doesn't work and you get a little frustrated. How do you stay motivated? And I noticed that the things that most successful people do and how they handle the day to day, staying on track, staying in the trenches, doing what needs to be done, is very different from how people who are not as successful handle it. Adam Urbanski, also known as the Millionaire Marketing Mentor, and I'm super excited to talk about this topic today, staying productive, increasing your profitability, productivity through four very simple things that, again, you don't need any special skills. You don't need any special equipment. You don't need to go and sign up for a year-long coaching program to do this. You just need to be aware that this is what's happening and respond differently to situations that life serves you. All right. So let me just walk you through it. Number one is make decisions based on where you want to be versus where you are at right now. This is actually what trips up most unsuccessful entrepreneurs. They're constantly waiting to be ready, to be ready, to be ready. They're getting ready to get ready to get ready, and it's like this perpetual failure to launch. One of my first mentors, I shouldn't say first mentors, but first mentors when I started my coaching business, talked about the story of observing surfers. He wasn't a California guy. And he said, it's so fascinating when I come to the West Coast to California and I watch surfers bobbing on the wave. And he said, what I noticed is very interesting. It's that they sit there and wait for the wave, and then you start watching them turning. They turn and they pedal, and then the wave comes and they ride the wave. He said, "What I realize is that they start pedaling way before the wave catches up with them, and the reason they do that is they need to get momentum. If they stand still and a wave comes, well, they either get washed off or even worse, they get crushed by the wave. So if you're living somewhere where you can see, you can watch surfers, go watch surfers or body surfers. And if you don't, watch on TV or look at YouTube video. What happens is, again, they bob on the water, they wait for the wave, and then they see the wave coming. And as they see the wave coming, they turn, they start paddling to catch the momentum so they can actually ride the wave. You need to make decisions when you don't feel you are ready to make those decisions. And you need to make decisions from where you want to be rather than where you are at the moment. Let me again give you a deeper illustration of what that looks like and why it's so important. The very basic illustration I can give you is technology. Let's just say website. Let's just say that you need to, by the way, today it changes because the websites are so easy, but it's still a very pertinent example. Let's just say that you have a project that you're launching, or just, you're building your business and you obviously need to have a website. The way unsuccessful people do it is they realize, okay, I need a website, and the website, it's an investment, right? It's going to cost me some money, time, energy, effort, and most importantly, financially. And they go like, well, what's the cheapest way to do this? I don't have those resources. I don't have the finances. So I need to go and learn how to build a website. And they start acquiring little subscription tools or all sorts of things and try to figure out how to do it themselves. And they're able to put some sort of Frankenstein together. It doesn't really work very well. It doesn't serve them very well. And it takes them an enormous amount of time to do it. Now, and that's the person that makes, let's say $50,000 a year. That's the mentality. They solve the problem from where they are at. Now, a person that makes $500,000 a year or $5 million a year, when they need to launch a new project and they need a web presence for it or any other technology, they're not thinking, okay, how do I buy some sort of subscription tool? When do I schedule the time to learn this? And how do I put it together? They simply think, who's the best person for the job? How do I get this done? Who do I bring on to get this done? So that's what you need to realize. Rather than spending months, time, which is your most precious non-renewable resource, that's how people that are unsuccessful think. People that are successful, they start thinking, okay, I need to just pay someone to get it done. Now, here's a distinction because you may be thinking, well, easy for you to say, if I don't have the money, I don't have the money. No, what I want you to understand is this. Ask yourself, if you're currently making $10,000 a month, right, and you want to be making $100,000 a month, you need to ask yourself, what do people that make $100,000 a month do differently? How, if I have this particular issue right now at a $10,000 level, your idea will be, let me roll up my sleeves and go do it. At a $100,000 level, you would think, okay, who do I bring in to solve that issue for me? And the distinction is, at a $100,000 level, you may have a lot more financial resources to build a fancier resource, to build a fancier website. All right. At a 10K, you simply go, okay, what is the minimum web presence that I need to have built for me? And you can certainly afford to do that. Go and pay a few $100 and get that done. And you will have it done in anywhere from 2 to 7 days. Boom, done. And you're moving on, right? That's number one. So make decisions from where you want to be, and so make decisions from the future where you want to accomplish, not from the past or from where you are right now. And don't wait until you're ready, because you will never be ready. That's the whole idea. Decisions pull you forward. If you make them from where you are, you'll always be at standstill. Second thing is, successful people recover from failure faster. And I can walk you through this um, kind of a 4R formula really quickly that I practice for myself. So, well, actually, I can walk you through it because it just happened yesterday. You know that right now I am on this personal challenge of doing 30 Facebook Lives in 30 days. Today is actually marks my, yesterday would have been the end of the week second. Today is my first day of the third week. So pretty cool, except for my last day of my second week, day 14, I screwed up. I didn't deliver my Facebook Live. And minor failure, right? But what happens, most people that are struggling, they're not very successful, they take failure very personally. They beat themselves up, they mope around, and it's like, oh my God, I failed. And they kind of like, okay, that's it, I didn't do it. Successful people give themselves the time to, they acknowledge what is, they give themselves time to process it a little bit. Maybe we feel anxiety or disappointment or whatever, but we don't dwell on it, right? Everybody has those emotions. We just don't dwell on it. We move on. So the 4R formula, number one is, it's very natural to revert. You know, I have not done Facebook Lives consistently daily for a long time. So 2 weeks in, and man, I really used an excuse of having some family events going on, a little busier day. And I said, you know what? All right, this is just won't be happening. And I sort of throughout the day, man, like, I'm going to go it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. I saw at 11 o'clock at night, I still had this ping like, man, I didn't do it. Should I go and do it just to be consistent? And then I realized it's crazy. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. The message won't be right. There's no one there. Let's just let it be. So it's natural to revert at times, right? Before you develop certain muscles, you revert to where you came from. That's all right. The second thing is, when it happens, reevaluate. Reevaluate what needs to happen differently. So in my case, a lot of things. I can be more prepared with fewer topics in advance. I can do my Facebook Lives early in the day before I let my day escape from me. All sorts of things that you can do. You can reevaluate what works, what doesn't work, how do I need to do things differently. Third R is, once you reevaluate, refocus on what you actually want to accomplish. Refocus on why it's important and what's the pathway to making it happen. And the fourth R is recommit, right? It's just that simple. Recommit. All right, so you tripped, you messed up. Not a big deal. Keep at it. Like one little trip, one little misstep does not cause the whole thing to fall apart in most cases, right? So that's my second distinction. What successful people do differently, they just don't let failure bother them, right? Um, they recover from failure very quickly. Number three, we ask for support. You know, I was coaching one of my programs, Revenue Intensive RRI game, earlier today. And we have some people that they're definitely, this is actually a very good example right now. And some of you might be in the game right now, might be watching, you may recognize yourself in those personas. But you know, we've got people at different levels, and some people are doing better, some people are not doing as well, and they need to shift some things to accelerate. But here's a distinction. Some people own what's going on for them and they show up and they ask for support. Others simply given to circumstances go like, well, whatever, and they disengage, right? Successful people do not disengage. They lean in and they ask for support. They admit, hey, here's what's going on. I need support. I want support. I'm looking for support. Can you support me? All right. Here's what I'm looking for. Can you support me? And that's distinction number three. Don't play alone. Ask for support. Sometimes we need an outsider to borrow confidence from, borrow the courage to break through certain obstacles to start getting traction, building momentum. And the fourth thing is here's the real kicker. When it comes to asking for support, what I've observed is that most successful people have a very unique way of asking and receiving and giving support. This is fascinating. I actually crafted my own little method around this. And in fact, I was written in Wall Street Journal about this because it's such a unique approach. I call it my 1-800-DFUNK line. 1-800-DFUNK line. Now, it's not a real phone number. It doesn't exist, but it means that on my phone, on speed dial, I've got a couple of people who are my 1-800-DFUNK line. And essentially what happens is when I am in the funk, I can call this person, or usually I message, I'm like, hey, I'm in the funk. Can I use my 1-800-DFUNK? All right. And go ahead. Give me 10 minutes and let's hop on a call. We hop on a call. Here's how 1-800-DFUNK line works. I am in the funk. I call my friend, right, who at this point serves as my defunker. And the way it works is it's an agreed timeline. All right. In my case, we give ourselves about 2 minutes, 5 minutes max to bitch, groan, and moan. And it's essentially like spewing all the venom and vinegar out of your system. You can bitch, groan, and moan on everything, like the weather, the government, the spouse, the business, the clients, the vendors, whatever. Right? The day it's like you can blame the world just because you know what we all get into those modalities at times. Spew it out of yourself. You just dump it on a person. But again, you've got a time limit. 2 minutes is often enough. If it's really a big deal, give yourself a little extra. And then when you get it out of your system, you go, all right, now listen, what's going on for you? How can I help you? And then you spend the next 15 minutes to 25 minutes. So the entire call is anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes. All right. Then you spend the next 15 to 25 minutes asking the person, how can I be of service to you? And helping them solve a real big problem. You know what happens? Like the first 2 minutes of you defunking yourself, spewing what's bothering you is moderately helpful. It's helpful. It's healthy to get it out of your system rather than dwell on it, right? You name it, you put it out, you spew it out and you forget about it. But what's really transformational is that you ask the other person, what's going on for you? What's one of the biggest challenges you could use support with? And you just pile up support. I promise you, that will make all your problems, all your lack of motivation, lack of perspective instantly disappear. There's something magical that happens when you focus all your energy, on your attention, on helping someone else become more successful, helping someone else solve their problem, get ahead. All right. So there you have it. That's the very simple 4-step formula to accelerate your results. By the way, I didn't ask for any feedback today. I didn't ask for any likes or whatever. And I don't even think I'm watching the right video. That's not the right video. Ta-da! There we go. So as always, if you enjoy this, give me one of those, hit the like button, hit the heart button. Give me a comment. What stood out for you? What's one thing you can immediately start practicing? Share with me where you're watching this from. If you're watching a replay, type in replay. And once again, let me sum up those 4 things. So number 1 is make decisions from where you want to be, not from where you are at. And make decisions now, even before you're ready, because you will never be quite ready for the right decisions. All right. Number 2, realize that you will sometimes revert. So failure is not a failure. It's just a stepping stone. It's a misstep. So don't dwell on failure. Don't dwell on missteps. Just acknowledge them, process them, and move on. And the faster you learn to do this, the better. In fact, this is one of the big lessons I learned from my successful mentors, that the key to success is how fast you can bounce back from when you're down. When you're down, again, acknowledge and then move on. Number 3 is ask for support. Don't try to play it solo. Don't hide. Don't escape. Don't disengage. Don't disappear. Just don't ghost people, don't ghost the world. Just ask for support. And number four, ask for support in a very unique way. Give yourself an ability to spew whatever is bothering you, and definitely ask for some suggestions. But very importantly, some of the best ways to get support is to just start supporting other people. Amazing how it works. That's all I've got for you today. Adam Urbanski, also as the Millionaire Marketing Mentor. Thanks for hanging out with me. And until our next session here, here's to your success. Cheers.